What's up, dudes? Max here, back with some more impressions of Street Fighter 6. We had access to the game for a limited period of time, thanks to Capcom for giving us this access at their headquarters, and we got a chance to record a few elements of Street Fighter 6, but once again in limited capacity. And a pretty decent amount of time was actually spent messing around with World Tour mode, and more importantly, beyond what is available in the demo to kind of get a better idea of what World Tour is going to be setting up for. And I can give you an early impression. I think it's going to be pretty exciting, because even as somebody that is going to be playing these games for years to come, if not really excited to see about the development of characters and mechanics, goofy side modes are always really enjoyable, especially if done well. And lucky enough, Street Fighter 6 is not taking the route of doing a cinematic story mode similar to a game like Street Fighter 5. I know a lot of people like that stuff, but I think what they're doing here is a much more interactive and enjoyable version of that. And before, I've described it sort of as like Def Jam Fight for New York, which had an incredible single-player mode. That is seemingly what this is setting up to be, just much more expansive with an actual visitable and, you know, explorative world that you can see all these references and characters and interact with it, which I think is genuinely exciting. So, just for some perspective, this comes right after the demo portion of Street Fighter 6's conclusive demo. I think it's right after Chapter 2. And the first thing I wanted to do was to go and find something that was the highest level possible to see how difficult it gets. My character barely has any levels, any experience, any modified special moves, to see how crazy it is. And yes, there's this superhero Capcom looking guy sitting at the top of a building. I run up, you challenge him. It takes like 4 minutes to get his life bar whittled down, but luckily you get, you know, food and other items to actually keep your health up. And yes, he goes down with relative ease. This stuff might be pretty hard for any casual player, if not a good idea. The nice thing is that the game sets up for these opportunities for you to go look for challenges. And yeah, I ran into certain things where I was running into characters that are dramatically out-leveled by me, getting jumped by like street gang members with box heads that are like 4 times my level, and just getting my face smashed. So absolutely, there's moments where the game does not want you visiting this area and you kind of like are in the wrong neighborhood, bro. It's pretty funny because they just slug you in the back of the head and you have to start fighting them. The cool part is that, yeah, everything around the opening area is scaled as such, and they don't really want you even fighting things in friendly neighborhoods that are gonna whoop your ass that much. You gotta really go out looking for a fight if you want to make things like super challenging. Character unlocks are also pretty neat, because this isn't just like a final fight mode where you're just running around a city beating up bad guys. It's literally like Street Fighter the RPG. So you unlock moves, you essentially have a mastery of characters, as we saw in the demo, which you start with Luke, and you get those characters' moves and the ability to unlock more moves and essentially buff them out. Buff out your special attacks, your punch attacks, your throws, and just add extra stats to your character, which is more vitality, things of that like. And I thought it only went so far. It was kind of brief, but funny enough, you unlock more stuff and it actually unlocks a completely different skill tree with even more things. So I'm thinking this mode isn't just going to be like a brief few hours. It's probably going to be pretty expansive, considering how many Street Fighter characters are in the game, how many you'll be able to visit, and how many you'll be able to learn their quote-unquote mastery from. Speaking of character mastery, one of the first places the game wants you to go to actually, you know, learn some things from some of these Street Fighter masters is Chinatown. So we make our way over there and talk to Chun-Li, and it has a very cool introductory cutscene where your character is essentially learning the ropes and you're adopting her martial art to try to figure out how to get the style and learn her moves. In a hilarious effort, your character just takes the full animation and poses, so regardless of how big a buff a dude you are currently rocking, they're going to look dainty and elegant AF while throwing out kickokens and spinning bird kicks. The more fascinating thing about this is the relationships that you can actually have with certain characters. And you'll notice that after you fulfill a couple of preconditions and maybe go do some side quests and look for things around Metro City, you get items, and some of these unique items are giftable to other Street Fighter characters. So yes, you can actually go to Chun-Li and start giving her gifts, and she will start warming up to you. Yes, you can sort of get cozy with Chun-Li in Street Fighter 6, which I think is hilarious and possibly the greatest idea ever from Capcom. And yeah, she'll actually give you like different things between, I don't know how it's going to work down the line, but it seems that you might get unlocked mastery or certain, there will be reasons for you to fulfill these quest lines and give gifts and open up to characters' hearts in some way, which I think will be very cool, along with a ton of additional flavor text and moments that will let people completely stand the hell out of Chun-Li or Ryu or whoever the hell they want. The other element I really appreciate about World Tour is how interactive it is between not just fighting people and slugging them on the street and engaging in battle, between honing your skills in a variety of different ways. The game will actively try to teach you how to do certain things, whether or not it's dish out a ton of damage as fast as possible to learn your most damaging attacks, or to, you know, position jumping attacks and actually have character mobility. There was this board breaking game that was in Chinatown that you can do to try to like do it a little bit faster or get better at it. It actually had proper like leaderboard timers on it. And then there were other things in like a junkyard. I think it was actually Abigail's Junkyard, which go into a retro style destroy the truck Street Fighter 2 thing, which plays funny classic music and everything. And you want to like beat these things up as fast as possible to get more rewards and things of the like. These just seem to be littered throughout Metro City all over the place. And granted, in Chapter 2/3, you don't get access to a huge part of the city. Things are still locked off with hard barriers. There's like cops blocking the way in some places that prevent you from going to other aspects of the city. So even though I only got to do a few of these, it seemed like on the world map that there was a lot of them available, and that's exciting. It's exciting to see that there isn't just beating people up and fighting. There's a lot of other activities that you can actually do to unlock things for your character, if not skills and bonuses and things of the like. And speaking of Easter eggs, upon roaming on the very small portion of the city that we had access to with this version of the game, I came across a harbor, and there was a celebration of some kind going at the harbor. You could fight some leveled characters that actually have a bit more experience, which gets you more rewards. There was an interesting mini game that we could not immediately play on the harbor, which I don't know exactly what that is, but upon going down the harbor, you actually find Ken's boat/yacht that he has, and it's a direct reference to Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, which is a Ken stage in that game, which is incredibly cool. I think little nods and references like this are going to be littered throughout the game, and you might have to search a bit more for others, but there will definitely be wonderful compilations later on just showing where all these ridiculous references come from. And I think just as a Street Fighter fan, this is sort of like, this is kind of a deep cut thing from a not very popular Street Fighter game that is hidden within here. And we've already seen a lot of stuff like this in the trailer for World Tour that just came out. So between Final Fight deep cuts and characters that we haven't seen in games for like nearly 30 years, there might be some very cool things that are going to be happening later in World Tour mode. That's about it. The last thing that we can talk about really in World Tour is that this isn't just a single time of day. There is indeed a day-night, or at least a night cycle in Street Fighter 6 where there's a passage of time, and you can see what Metro City looks like at night. And believe it or not, we're playing on the PlayStation 5 version. It really doesn't look too bad. It looks like almost any other kind of open world Metro sort of game, and I think it looks pretty good. So that's neat. It'll be nice that the environment will change, and we still have not gotten any inclusion or information on the next area that might be, I think it was India that we were looking at from the previous trailers. So there's going to be even more accessible later down the line. You can travel to certain areas with like airline tickets and then visit, you know, other bosses like Marissa and stuff like that, or Street Fighter heroes, and learn stuff from them. It just seems ridiculously expansive. And from the little bit that we had, like I ended up running through this twice. Yeah, I could run through it really quick and essentially make it about 20 minutes, but my first like playthrough of this thing took me like an hour and 45 minutes of just running around and looking for references and just enjoying the world. And yeah, like I said, it's kind of a vibe when you're just running around Metro City and listening to the music and, you know, essentially getting jumped by thugs every once in a while and just taking them out with your moves. I think it's really cool, and it's even more exciting that the stuff that you earn in this mode will be applied to online matches. They confirmed that your avatar matches, where you can take your custom character, will be playable online, maybe not in ranked mode and things like that, where everything's sort of even grounded, but you'll be able to fight your friends, you'll be able to fight in lobbies using your crazy freakazoid characters or non-freak characters against each other, which I think is genuinely an incredible addition that is great for casual appeal and just for the sake of having fun. So there's a lot of incentivization for you to go through World Tour, learn those moves and upgrade your character in a certain variety of ways to go challenge your friends and see who's got the biggest freak out there. That's about it for World Tour mode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I got a bunch more Street Fighter videos that came out earlier today regarding Street Fighter 6 between Cammy combo trials and overall impressions and some match footage and character intro faces. There was only so much time we had, and I wish I can give you details on every single aspect of the game, but we just gotta wait till this thing comes out at the beginning of June. But for now, this is at least a small taste of what's going on, and if you guys enjoyed some of this coverage, I definitely appreciate a thumbs up. As always, dudes, we'll be back more with Street Fighter 6 when it does eventually come out. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.